Hello everyone, Ryan here. So, I finally saw the Black Panther movie, and I actually liked it. I enjoyed it for the most part. I will say that it was hard for me to get into right away. I felt like it had a bit of a slow start, so pretty much the first half hour, it was hard for me to get into it, like actually care a lot about the character. Eventually I did, and of course I don't want to spoil too much of it, but another reason why I don't want to reveal too many details about it is because I'm aware that so many other people have already reviewed this movie in great detail, so it's like, actually I want to talk about some other aspects of it, but I will quickly say that I did like the performances throughout this movie. Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, aka Black Panther, I thought he did a pretty good job. Also definitely like Michael B. Jordan as the character Killmonger. He did a fantastic job, in my opinion, because he played like a villain that didn't come off as like your typical Marvel villain. It's kind of like, he wasn't so obsessed about world domination, or I guess, he kind of was. He was and he wasn't. But it was more like he was more concerned about freeing his people, helping, other black people, African American people in other parts of the world. Except, he had more of he was coming more from a much more negative state of mind. And, but other than that, again, his performance I thought was pretty great. I will say, like, there was like some other characters in this that I didn't find to be like that important to the story. It was just kind of like they were just there in the background, just to be there. And then of course some of the jokes that are cracked in this, like the young girl who was supposed to be T'Challa or Black Panther's younger sister. She was supposed to be like the techie, like the genius tech person that creates all of the suits for Black Panther and the different technology for Black Panther. But from time to time she would actually, she cracked like these weird jokes, and I don't know, for me I didn't find him to be that funny. It was just like, I felt like the jokes were placed in these kind of like somewhat odd moments, but I don't know. I know a lot of other people liked him, so that's to be expected with any Marvel movie. I feel like most Marvel movies they follow the same formula, but at least I'd like that this one, it at least steered away a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit from the typical Marvel movie formula. And another, actually the bigger part, the other part of this movie that I like, which I feel is much more important than anything else throughout this movie, is I like that it addresses very real, pressing issues that actually affect today's society. That being the subject of prejudice, racism, pretty much, attempting to figure out whether or not certain people should be helped, should be given aid at any particular time. Because to me, I felt like it definitely relates to, at least here in the States, with what's going on with the whole border wall bullshit thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really in favor of any kind of border wall. That's not to say that I'm not in favor of border security, but that's a whole other topic. I don't want to get off on a long tangent. But that topic is addressed a little bit in this movie. Of course, it's masked by, different action scenes and the whole thing about the city that Black Panther is in charge of protecting and ruling, Wakanda, because they're supposed to be they're pretty much isolated from the rest of the world, and that's because they have access to a lot of really awesome technology. And so for the most part, they've been able to stay completely isolated, but at the same time really flourish a lot. And so I don't know, for me, it brought up a lot of different things for me, several different things in which I believe more people today should actually consider not only discussing but thinking about, and at least attempting to find some kind of resolution or something along those lines. That's what I feel, because it's kind of like, if you live in this awesome city or awesome country or any place that has access to a lot of really great technology that can really benefit a lot of people, but at the same time you choose not to share it with anyone who doesn't live where you live, or anyone who doesn't live in the same country that you do, the same city that you do. To me, I feel like that's a waste. I feel like it's because we already have that. When you think about it, just in this country alone, in the United States, we have the wealthy 1% families. They stay holed up, cloistered and in a lap of luxury, and they don't really help anyone who truly needs help. I mean, that's how I've always viewed it. I mean, yeah, you could get down into the details of everything. The myriad of details, and but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that pretty much for the most part, most wealthy families don't help those who are less fortunate than them. That's what it comes down to, and we can't keep denying that fact. That's one thing that for me this movie, Black Panther, brought up. Now for some people, I know they focused a lot more on the whole black people, African American people, struggling to make ends meet in these different low-income communities. I definitely know that's another thing that I do like that was addressed in this movie. But at the same time, I'm not so sure if there was a little bit too much focus on that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, because I feel because there are a lot of people that are saying that they don't like this movie. That are saying that and I mean, actually, a lot of minorities, people who are part of different minority groups are actually saying they don't like this movie because they feel like it's like promoting, to them, they believe it's promoting the victim mentality to minorities, essentially saying, that, we're all victims. It's okay to be victims as long as you badmouth those who victimize you, or those who aid in helping, those who help to victimize you, or those who help to oppress you. And that's actually, what some of these people are saying, that they believe that this is what the Black Panther movie is promoting. And I don't know, for me, I feel like, I kind of feel like you already have to be in a certain mindset in order to interpret this movie that particular way. Yeah, because otherwise I'm just, it's, because I feel like, technically you could interpret the other Marvel movies in the exact same way. I mean, you could. It really wouldn't take much to even try. But then again, I mean, that's a whole other thing, which it's like, or maybe it's just because this is an aspect of society that we haven't fully addressed, we haven't fully discussed with one another. And because of that, I mean, I feel like, I would say the Black Panther movie, I wouldn't consider it a great movie, but I do consider it a decent movie. If only because it's actually forcing people to talk about race relations, prejudice, topic of immigration, border security, and, so anytime a movie can do that, I'm all for it. Regardless of, I don't care if it's a Marvel movie, if it's a Disney movie, which actually Disney owns Marvel, so, I don't care if it's some romance movie, some comedy movie, if it's a movie that gets people talking about actual important issues that really do affect society as a whole, that affect mankind as a whole, I'm all for it. I say, hey, great, let's do that. Let's keep making these movies. And, if the side effect from such movies ends up being that large groups of people end up being offended by it, and then, hey, to hell with them. That's or no, I mean, hey, it's, the sad fact of it is that, unfortunately, some people do need to be offended from time to time. Some people do need a slap in the face, as some kind of wake-up call from time to time, in order to, to make them aware that, hey, no, these topics, these are important things that need to be discussed, not just once every year or once every other year or whenever it's convenient for us, but, these are the kinds of things that need to be talked about often. And that's it. There's no other way to put it. So, I'm sure you can tell I do like this movie. Again, I wouldn't consider it a great movie, but it's a decent movie. And again, I like the fact that it's causing people to become aware about these important things, like race relations, prejudice, immigration, border security stuff. So, yeah. As far as the rating goes, I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I would say like 8.5. So, but that's me, and this is me ignoring the fact that there were actual flaws in this movie as far as the acting is concerned. Placement of certain jokes, and that's me ignoring that because of the fact that, again, it's addressing important things, important issues. So 9 out of 10 for Black Panther. So yeah, thanks for watching this, thanks for listening. As always, until next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.